Hi, everyone. N here, pronouns they, them, head of community here at Livepeer. And welcome to Fireside. Another week, and hope everyone's feeling cozy today. So I do have a few announcements to start the day off with. We have 3 upcoming events, all are delegator workshops. We're going to be having one in Abuja, Nigeria, and that's going to be on July 19th, 1 p.m. Time in Abuja. I'm not sure what the GMT is. And then we will also be having, 2 to 3 in Nigeria. And then we'll also be having an online delegator workshop on July 23rd, and that's 12:30 Mountain Time or 2:30 EST. And then finally, we're going to be having another delegator workshop in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's going to be July 26th at 2 p.m. And all of the links for RSVPing are in the Discord. And we also have been posting about them slowly on our Twitter. So feel free to RSVP to those. You'll learn how to be a Livepeer delegator, and you'll be getting a total of $10 in LPT to get your journey here at Livepeer started. So definitely check that out. And even if you're already a delegator, join us anyway. It never hurts to have more LPT. So Of course, the call in always to join the community. Everything that we do happens in our Discord. So please join our Discord with this QR code. You can connect with all of the people who will be presenting today, as well as understand where we're going. We've had a lot of major updates today from a number of folks, and you can connect with all of them in the server. And finally, we have a product called Daydream. We are building the premier live video AI community with a subsequent product that does live video AI. So please scan the QR code and try it out today. And you can scan it right here. All right, so a shorter fireside today. We first have an update from Livepeer Foundation. I'm sure folks have seen already the post they did in the forum and in our server. Super exciting stuff. At last, the strategic things are arriving. So excited for Rich to share that with us. And then we have a spotlight from Titan on the VTuber game launch. And so we'll be hearing from him after Rich. Welcome up, Rich, and congratulations. I know it's been a lot of hard work. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much. Feeling wonderful. Still in France after ECC. Which
Awesome.
was also great. We had a big talk there, and it hosted a nice brunch. It's been all systems go on the foundation front. So super excited to present what we've come up with on the advisory boards.
All right. Well, I'll let you get right into it. Take it away.
Okay, I've been told I'm a bit laggy, so I'm going to turn my video off. But yeah, super excited to present. Give an update from the Livepeer Foundation and everything we've been working on. So next slide. Awesome. So a bit about the foundation first. The mission of the Livepeer Foundation is to steward the vision, ecosystem growth, and core development of the Livepeer project. Next slide. And we set up advisory boards because we really wanted to have a bridge to the community and make sure that this overall strategy for the Livepeer project is not just set top down, but also ensuring that voices from the ecosystem are heard bottom up. So advisory boards are small domain-specific groups consisting of Livepeer core contributors, and they go through this process of first of all forming through a selection process by the Livepeer Foundation, then surveying the community through a survey where anyone within the Livepeer ecosystem can give new ideas to the Livepeer project, new opportunities. Then the advisory board sit, they go through the strategic pillars, then they recommend 6-month tactical objectives, and then they screen teams that come in that want to work on specific opportunities within the Livepeer project, and then advise those teams as they move forward. And the foundation facilitates this advisory board lifecycle over a 6-month period, really trying to synthesize a coherent roadmap for the project as a whole, and helping to mobilize like the Inc. Foundation. Now we have Streamplace, Mist, and a load of other SPEs as well, which have received funding from the on-chain treasury. Next slide. And they're really a mechanism to provide a clear pathway for ecosystem stakeholders, anyone within the community, to participate in strategy setting. Next slide. So we're well into the advisory board process. So this was it actually started back in June. We went through the survey stage, made sure that a lot of the community input was raised towards the advisory boards themselves. And now we're in this recommend phase where we're really, by the end of July, ensuring that we publish these recommendations before we then start to screen and advise around a long-term coherent mission. Next slide. I'm super proud to announce on behalf of the Livepeer Foundation that the first phase of the advisory boards is now complete. We'll go through these nice and quickly. So within this first 3-week period, the advisory board chairs have produced a long-term ambition for each one of things, there are 4 different domains that the advisory boards have. We have network, growth, governance, and capital markets. And for each advisory board, there's a specific ambition. There's then a clear set of priorities which have come through the advisory board process, alongside strategic pillars that define the problem space and guide the next stage of the advisory board process, which is to think through short-term 12-month practical objectives. So I'm now going to dive into each advisory board and really give a high-level overview of what each advisory board came up with from a strategic perspective. Next slide. So to start with, we have an advisory board, and I think at this stage of the Livepeer project, the network advisory board is probably the most important. We really want to make sure that we're aligned. The ambition is aligned on a frictionless go-to platform for AI-powered video. There are 4 key pillars to this. First, robust infrastructure for real-time video AI. This is ensuring there's a performant and reliable infrastructure with these different capabilities focused on real-time AI workloads. Secondly, that we have a unified developer experience and interface. So really to ensure that there's a frictionless network onboarding, a simplified developer journey across everything from documentation to the website to use cases and different tools to onboard. Thirdly, we have the lean, scalable, and flexible network core. This is to ensure that particularly on the supply side, that supply side GPU capacity can really scale up and down to meet demand from an open marketplace for AI and video jobs. And this really adaptability is key. And then finally, this open and collaborative AI video research. So this is thinking about how we empower model builders and research to really rapidly experiment, integrate, and deploy new AI capabilities. So this is the 4 strategic pillars. Strategic pillars are long-term. We should be thinking, 2, 3, 4, 5 years into the future. Are we still going to have these as core pillars of the network itself? Next slide. So then we have the Growth Advisory Board, and the ambition of the Growth Advisory Board is to really ensure there's accelerated growth in fees on the network as a whole. So some of the core priorities and strategic pillars that came out were really thinking of strong brand and positioning across different verticals, particularly positioning Livepeer as a leader in both AI and video. And this is key to ensuring that we really communicate the mission, network capabilities, and opportunities available on the network as a whole. I just want to make sure, can everyone still hear me?
Yeah, Rich, can we swap out with Joseph, because your audio keeps going in and out, making it hard to understand what you're saying. So okay. Is it okay if Joseph takes over?
Yeah, no problem. Let's get going.
Okay. Sorry about that, Rich. Thank you, Joseph, for jumping in. Welcome up. Joseph, of course, is also from Foundation.
Hello, everyone. Stepping in for Rich here. I'm Joseph, in case you don't know me already. I am the communications lead for the Foundation. And while I'm not on any of the boards, I've been supporting Ven, Rich, and all of the board chairs with the synthesis and the publication of the strategy pillars document that you can see I linked in the chat below. I think, Rich, where did you get to on this slide? Could you just comment in the chat and I'll pick up where you left, and you could perhaps.
Yeah, so he was, I think, just going over the first pillar.
Okay, sure. Yes. So I guess I'll pick up on the second one. And the second pillar was strategic AI and video partnerships and integrations. And this is to set up partnerships that are actually mission aligned and have product integrations associated with that are Web 2 and Web 3 AI communities and ecosystems. And this really is to have the purpose of broadening awareness and distribution of the Livepeer network itself. And the third pillar is high-value founder and developer programs, where we would run programs for top founders and developers that are building video and AI applications, as well as products on top of the network. And this is for creating new demand-side success stories for the network. It's definitely something that the Growth Advisory Board wanted to emphasize. And the final pillar for this one is leading AI video research, building a leading AI video research community in that fund-applied researchers, AI engineers, creative technologists would experiment with video AI workflows and applications with the purpose of building and showcasing new use cases for the network. Next slide, please. And next up is the Governance Advisory Board. And the ambition that the board came up with together was to progressively decentralize the Livepeer project to a community-owned and governed protocol. And the first of the pillars is a secure, fast protocol upgrade process, creating and guiding the best-in-class LIP processes which drive protocol decentralization and improvements, and would implement, test, and deploy protocol upgrades with confidence. Next pillar, number 2, is incentivize accountable core contributions, where clear tracked metrics and incentivize transparent reporting for core entities and SPEs will contribute to the future of the Livepeer project. And this has the goal of allocating on-chain capital, of rewarding the highest value core contributors, so things that actually deliver value to the network and are aligned with the mission. And leading on to the third is aligned and coordinated project strategy. So the strategic pillar will plan Livepeer's strategic priorities and coordinate contributors that will prioritize work and focus on high value execution and execute on the project roadmap with a clear North Star. Again, big emphasis on alignment, mission alignment. And the final pillar for this one is effective governance research, lightweight compliant and protocol-based governance practices and systems, and reduce bureaucracy in decision-making and execution. Next slide, please. Markets. The ambition for this one was tier 1 capital practices that secure the future of Livepeer. And the first pillar was a sustainable network economy, in which a self-sustaining set of tokenomics, incentives, rewards for the network, and capital rewards, where the capital rewards the right people and behaviors, accruing value back to LPT. Optimized and quality markets is the second, where with access to frictionless markets, quality integrations, and accessible liquidity, enabling a wider range of participants to access and trade LPT with confidence. Third pillar for the Markets Advisory Board is strategic capital management and risk that balances growth ambitions and the need to safeguard the Livepeer project's long-term health. And finally, last but not least, compelling and valuable LPT that has a clear LPT narrative that attracts new people to solid fundamentals and an optimistic story. Next slide. Yeah, so there were some overlaps between the boards. I mean, this was something that we anticipated to happen. It's inevitable in the ecosystem. And in the spirit of transparency, we wanted to just show what those overlaps were and what the kind of dynamics between the overlapping boards are, which we've visualized here. This is also in the document and on some of the board chairs' public comments as well. So if you want to look into this, I know it's a lot to take in just here, but I think it's kind of useful to get a deeper understanding of those overlaps and the potential dynamics between the boards and the areas that they cover. Next slide, please. Yeah, so what's next? Here you can see the double diamond strategy that we have. So you may remember, if we go from the left-hand side, when we kicked off the advisory board's process, we started with environmental data, and many of you may have contributed to that through the community survey. And thanks to all of you that did. It was really, really valuable. And that shaped the discover phase, where the advisory boards gathered and collated ecosystem signals and trends. They then defined that into opportunities, challenges, and risks, and defined the strategic pillars. And you can see here in between the two, where the diamonds meet in the middle, just underneath the number 3, that's where we are now. So we've had the first results, which is through the strategic pillars, phase 1 complete. Next, the advisory boards will enter the develop phase, where they leverage pillars to draft domain-specific tactical objectives. And then into the 4th phase, deliver, where they synthesize and refine these recommendations and indicators of success. And then that's when a lot of the synthesis work that I'll be involved with Venn will truly kick off, where the foundation will synthesize into a network strategy, global, that will then lead into a full roadmap and the screening and advising processes for the recommendations. Next slide. And yes, most importantly, it's very important to emphasize that the publication of the strategic pillars document is just a first draft, and your feedback counts. So you feel free to ask a question now, or add a comment to the forum post. Actually, perhaps not a question now. Add a comment to the, I've just seen N pop up. Add a comment to the forum post, and we will respond.
Yeah, people can ask questions in the Discord. I'm in there, so you can see if people do any questions.
Okay, super.
Yeah, maybe Rich can come back up as well. Apologies, folks, for the technical difficulties. But thank you, Joseph. Rich, is there any last little bits you want to add on to the end here while we're still on the section?
No, first and foremost, please do go away and have a look at the forum posts that we've published. And if you do have feedback, as Joe's already mentioned, make sure it goes in there. We really do want to ensure that there is a window where all community members can give feedback. So whether you're new to Livepeer, you're interested in the process, or obviously if you're an existing core contributor or community member, please do reach out to us directly via the forum post.
And I think one question that people might be interested in is what's next. So, what do you guys, now that we have these strategic pillars, it sounds like there's a feedback section for the community. And then after that, what are you guys going to be getting up to?
Rich, do you want to grab this one? I think I did mention in the last slide is that if there's anything in particular that people aren't aware of or are unsure about, they can reach out to me. But just to be brief, they enter the next. The advisory boards aren't done. They enter the next phase, which is recommending tactical objectives,
Awesome.
which will then lead into the final Livepeer Foundation synthesis roadmap, and then the screenings for the next projects.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joseph and Rich. Rich, is something you want to say?
Maybe one thing to add, sorry.
Oh. Oh, well, I guess not. Well, thank you both for joining today, and we will continue the show. All right. Again, apology for the technical difficulties, folks. But now we have Titan, who is a key member in the Agent SPE, who will be telling us about the v.tuber game. Hi, Titan. It's been a while. How have you been?
Good day. Good day. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Well, take it away.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much for the chance to demonstrate kind of what I've been building here at the Agent SPE, some of the outlines of what we want to do, and give a quick overview of the Sarah's game. So for those that haven't been following, what we're building are live streaming agents that come to life on the Livepeer network. So all powered by Livepeer. And right now the big movement is for agents to do things and look real and to act real. And so we're bringing a visual component to agents. And so a little piece of what we've been working on is called Sarah's Game. And Sarah's game is a game of, riz, fire, and strategy, where you try to convince Sarah to give you her soul, right? Her Solana. She's got a Solana purse, and you chat with her and try to convince her to give her your soul. So next slide. So what is the purpose? So before I get into kind of the nitty gritty of what the game is and why, I'd like to start off with kind of the purpose of building this game. And the purpose was to demonstrate what our agent pipeline can do to other developers and to get people excited to build on Livepeer. So if anyone's ever built a product or a business or gone out into the open market and tried to sell something, it really helps when the person who's selling or just, giving documentation or instructions on how to build something, it really helps when that person is a true believer of the product, of the pipeline, and is a user of that pipeline. So you know this already. If you've ever dealt with a salesperson and they don't actually use the product or they don't actually care, it's very hard for anyone to come across with any degree of confidence that you should be using this or finding a cool application to build this tech. So the idea was, why don't we build a prototype? Why don't we build something fun? Let's build something that allows people to see what is possible. And when we convey the messaging on how to use this technology, we're going to be enthusiastic and we're going to come across with a really compelling vision and idea of why someone should use us. So that is the purpose of building this type of product, so that we can get other developers to use our pipeline, our open source backend that we're going to be publishing documentation for. So that is the purpose of this. Next slide, please. So why a game? Games, if anyone here plays video games or any type of board game or games in their life growing up, games are super compelling. They're super interesting and fun. Some quick statistics: games cause 52.6 increase in user engagement compared to other static content, and specifically interactive video increases engagement by 66% and can increase emotional connection by 35%. So again, that brings in that level of deep connection with an agent, right? Agents are currently mostly text-based. They're really boring. Yeah, you can interact with them, but you have to read what they say, and there's agents everywhere. And so we're trying to bring forward not only an agent to play a game with, but an agent that is live video as well. So it's a video game, if you will. Next slide, please. Now, this is a very technical breakdown for those that want to do a deep dive into the tech and kind of how we're containerizing this. Feel free to screenshot this. And this is just kind of a workflow of how Sarah's game works. The player submits a game. It breaks down into two columns. The right column does a bunch of fact checking. So all the green boxes are all LLM requests. The red boxes are speech, text to speech, and other inference requests that aren't LLMs. The blue is Unreal Engine doing the actual visual generation, and then Livepeer Studio, obviously the last mile, getting them to the viewer. So on the right side, we do in parallel with the other stuff. We have fact checking, and we use summarize it. We get the news and we summarize it. We try to accumulate knowledge based on what the prompt is. And then on the left side, we actually have the main pipeline, which is Sarah updates her emotions first. She then makes a decision. She does on-chain transactions. She then generates the content like images or a response. And then from there, we go into a text to speech, facial blend shaping, push that into Unreal Engine, and then what you have is your output, and we can push that through something like Livepeer Studio, which then displays the video and audio for people to readily watch the game happen in front of them. So Sarah's game is interactive, it's live, it requires a ton of inference, And this big square around it, the big white box, that is ideally the container that this is all hosted in. And then obviously you can see at the top bottom left that Livepeer Studio is outside of the container. So that is a very technical breakdown. I won't spend any more time on that, but that is the idea. Next slide, please. So we've built this game. If you haven't gone to it, I didn't have enough time to make maybe a slide for this, but just go to vtuber.fun if you'd like to play the game, experience it, and test out, see if you can convince Sarah to give you her soul. And but what's next for the Agent SPE? So we've built this game. It has a token associated with it. We're trying to get developers aware of the technology so we can get them down our funnel. But what's next? The idea is, creating new avatars so that people can have not just a Sarah, but they can have a Bob and a Jill, and very, Dane does a lot of this implementation on styling, emotions and movements. Again, there's been other presentations on how we're improving that and integrating it. But lastly, we're really going to start working once we have a product out and that people are interested in using, and that we have a developer pipeline. We're going to be publishing SDKs and APIs for people to launch their VTuber on the Livepeer network. And again, Define has been doing testing with having the container running with orchestrators already, doing some stability testing and all these things. So the idea is get a pipeline of developers, build a cool product, and let them take that idea and then give them the full back end to just create their own. And by us building a product, we really get to solidify what's important to us and work out the kinks so that developers come in and have a good experience. So if you do want early access, please scan the QR code, sign up for our early access SDKs and APIs so that you can start building when we launch them. And that is it for my presentation. So any questions would be welcome right now.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Titan. And for folks who are not in the community, everyone's been super excited about this. It's been definitely a huge splash, so that's super exciting. Curious. Oh, I think someone's typing in chat. Sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, how are you feeling about everything? I mean, you've made so many strides in the last few months.
How am I feeling? Well, I'm feeling very enthusiastic. I'm feeling very excited that we get to build a product that people get to use for the first time.
Right.
And I really think that our target demographic is, degens, gamers, not necessarily builders when it comes to the Sarah's game. But what I think happens is if you build a game where you get 1,000 users and it goes, maybe semi-viral, the developers come and they go, hey, here's tech that's getting eyeballs. I want that in my development, right? And it makes it very compelling to want to use our pipeline when they see the tech working. Otherwise, you end up with a lot of crypto protocols where you have this technology and no one really has an idea of how to use it, and they have to figure it out for themselves. And when you ask for support, they're giving you very technical support down, bug errors, but they're not helping you bring your vision to life of what it is you want with this tech. So if we can have a lot of users and a lot of enthusiasm around a game, then other developers are going to get enthusiastic about building similar products. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, congrats again, Titan. And for folks, go to vtuber.fun. I placed that link in the Discord, and as well scan the QR code for that early access. Thank you, Titan.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All right. Unfortunately, we've come to the end once again. So last call to join our community. Here's, of course, the QR code. As you see, Livepeer is really moving in conjunction with, of course, the Agent SP as well as Livepeer Foundation, which recently launched. There's a bunch of places you can tap in, a bunch of things you can do, and a lot of opportunities for you as a contributor, as well as a passionate member of the Web3 movement. So definitely jump into our server. As the advisory boards create the short-term objectives, we will be, having a ton of things to do. A lot of work that needs to be done. Of course, we have the Treasury, which has a good deal of LPT, which can help, help fund these different initiatives. So yeah, exciting stuff. But that is it for today. Next week, we do have a packed schedule as well. We'll be talking with Eli and having a conversation about live streaming and about streaming in general, how the problem space works in more detail. There was a conversation in our Discord where we're talking through that. So definitely jump in there and check it out. And then we'll have that conversation with Eli from stream.place next week. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining today's Fireside, and have a good rest of your week. Bye.